My name is Keith Wilson. I am a missionary in Mozambique. In 1992, my official trade is I'm a farrier, which a lot of people don't know, as I put shoes on horses. And in 1993, I was kicked in my back by a horse that I really didn't want to do, but the trainer told me that if you don't do it, you lose your work. So then I did the horse. My spine was moved. If you look at the spine, it came down, and then there was a gap, and then the spine carried on. So I went to the Johannesburg General Hospital, and the doctor told me that he didn't know how I managed to walk into his room, and he took x-rays, he gave me some pain medication, and he sent me home for 6 weeks rest. When I came back after 6 weeks, I was put into total bed rest, flat on my back for 6 weeks. When I came back to him, it was the same doctor that I saw, and he went for x-rays, and he looked at it, and he said, "Look, sorry, sir, I've lost your old file. This can't be the same back." He showed me the x-ray that he had taken of my back 6 weeks before, and he showed me the new x-rays. My back was 100% straight. What had happened in the interim is when I went to visit my parents, and we stayed there for the 6 weeks, and my parents prayed for me, and a couple of the church members, they prayed for me, and then I was absolutely healed. The doctor was totally amazed that he says he sent me home to be paralyzed because he didn't want to be the cause of being my paralysis. So he sent me home. He told me, "Get yourself a wheelchair," and then 6 weeks later, I was actually able to walk. I was fine, and I could carry on. Then we had I've had some beautiful testimonies right throughout my life. The one day I was busy driving with my car. The car broke down. I was in a very dangerous area out in the middle of nowhere near a large squatter camp. And my car just stopped on the side of the road. I pulled over, and I had no tools or anything, so I didn't know what to do. And as I climbed out the car, there was a tool set lying right next to my back wheel. And I picked it up. I could fix my car, and I could carry on without any issues. Then a couple of years later, we moved to Mozambique. And we were busy working in an area called Inyamban. And we had a couple of dogs, some nice dogs. We had a pit bull and a boer bull and a couple of other dogs. And the local community came to see us, and they told us that our dogs were busy killing their goats. And I argued with them, and I told them they're not killing the goats because our dogs are well behaved. We've got our own animals, we've got our own chickens, we've got everything. The local community was very angry with us, and because we have to remain on a very good standing with them, we decided to put our dogs down. So we put our dogs down and we buried them. And then about 2 weeks later, the local Sangoma, or the witch doctor, came to visit us with one of the chiefs. And he told me that we had to burn the dogs. We had to dig the dogs up and burn them, and when the stomachs would pop, then it would rain, because we were having a bit of a drought at that stage. And I refused this. I told them that God is the one that sends the rain, and God is the one that holds the rain. So a couple of days later, the chief and the Sangoma and another slightly above him chief came and visited us. And the same story. God is the one that sends the rain. God is the one that delivers the rain. And then when they were walking away, the clouds gathered, and 3 drops fell. And I said, "Lord, come on, you can't do this. You're the one that's bringing it. We need something here." And then a week later, I get another summons. But now I was summoned to the big chief. And there was a whole community meeting there, and they were all very angry with me because I'm now withholding the rain because I'm not prepared to dig up my dogs, and I'm not prepared to burn them as the Sangoma has suggested. So anyway, what I did is I said, look, we are heading back to South Africa in a couple of days' time. So I won't be there, but they do not have my blessing. But if I cannot stop them if they dig up the dogs. So they were happy with that. And then that was the Wednesday. On the Friday, we had to go through to Injamban to collect some people from the airport. And we arrived at the airport, and then the storm blew up. The storm was so bad that the jumbo had to turn around, coming on its way up from Maputo to Injamban. It had to turn around and go land back in Maputo because there was such an enormous storm. When we got back to home, we were driving past, and a couple of the chiefs' houses and a lot of the population's houses, the Sangoma's house, were washed flat in the storm. So it was absolutely amazing that God just showed his power and presence above the powers of darkness.